And very simple. Abaya me ati ase say IMF ayewe enema mi unu dia bedu ha say Russia Ukraine war and after COVID-19 aban chire mu a otimi e dia man do Ghana for believe say as a result of economic mismanagement and abedu sampempe so ba ma two reasons COVID-19 and Russia Ukraine war. Na de bia na yekoti ana Russia Ukraine war na nyansunsu aso Ghana yeso Africa wiase nyina globally bia ene ye kwa akohwe ye Russia Ukraine war nsunsu aso bo na de be wiase na ye hwe aman bi soso anamonto omutu soro nbesi ano ne yemfa ntoto ye de ye ho ne hwe se de yeso ye koyanim anase ye koyachi yensua de kakra ene anwumre. Quick one, the Russia Ukraine war and ohunu we ohun Australia no gina ha say no man ada ne abutu some of the Russia Ukraine no call omukro ni bi so a se bi adane amanfo so na abakosem kakra enie enne 133 days a Russia Ukraine war no ehye ase 24 February 2022 na ehye na said you must say can Russia Ukraine war which akoso basis as in akoso how bebre activities across Europe and then a globe abia akawiase na ne abibeman na yenhwe eniama bia yenhwe Russia Ukraine war or how ediaba ewiase why is Russia invasion in Ukraine a global concern the entire abeya wiase nyina how Europe imports 40% of its natural gas and 17% of fossil fuel from Russia. Ukraine, on the other hand, has the food basket and produces about 60% of the world's grains, which serves as body energy need for mankind. Oko ewiase nyina chese Russia fango natural gas from Mejano, Oko Europe titiriwa and gas using 40% from Russia. 17% fuel a use petrol no nkron bay and so Oko Ukraine so dia about 60% no wheat ni grains bruni sane amano Ukraine so supply about 60% chese wiase nyina omo benefit kese Europe. The economic consequences of the disruption trade and production as a result of Russia-Ukraine invasion on the European countries and the world at large cannot be underestimated. Onsunsan so ade abre wiase no yentimi nka se da bi Russia Ukraine war na aba no se bi onfa nsunsan so bi ama wiase ede nsunsan so abre wiase amahudo nyina eso. Now yenhwe nsunsan so be na de aba rise in energy bills chese fango boa atimi akosoro. Homes in Europe like UK, Germany, Italy and others who depend on Russia energy have seen their energy bills soaring. Germany, which is the largest economy in Europe at the moment, is in gas crisis after Gazprom Russia oil company, made announcement of cutting their gas supply to Berlin by 60% to enable them carry out planned maintenance on the Nord Stream 1 pipeline. Ko Europe ama hodo no so to say UK, Germany, Italy, omodo na depend on Russia for energy. Na yaka say gas from Ajanwa den e de ama omo pa. Titiri oko Germany from Ajan omo de ma German for no omo akate about 60% omo bu pen diosia omo so omo yensiesie bi e wo ho. Now, sharp rise in food prices at the supermarket said the Russia-Ukraine war na maduane boaye den e wo ye Europe ne titiri ama hodo a omo ekeka ho ebie. Ukraine and Russia together export about 30% of all wheat, 27% of sunflower oil, and about 18% of all corn in the world. These two major food baskets of the world are war impacting Europe's food prices. Russia, Ukraine, sa maimi enui eba na exports enuane ahodo aye die sunflower aye nwa ide aduane na afi aye abura omo no dodo na ho ne free banti sa ma ne mienu ekone de edi sunsuaso atimi ade abawiase anam so amaduane bo akosoro. According to the United Nations Food Price Index, the price of vegetable oil saw 23%, cereals were up 17%, sugar rose 7%, meat was up by 5%, making it costly for families in Europe to meet their daily nutritional need. According to United Nations, omo chese aduane bo akosoro Russia Ukraine won ntino uko Europe aduane bo akosoro oil and why dear aduane by 23%. Cereal, because a room runners and yamay, nebo akosro 17%. Afe asichire bo akosro 7%. We are not in chase aduane enam meat akosro by 5%. Enti amane mama yedin e de amamo. Hwe percentage na akosro no. Roko kon kase ni nyina achi no. 23% for vegetables, vegetable oil. Cereals 17%, sugar 7%. Afe meat 5%. Or say according to the Food and Agriculture Organization, Russia invasion was responsible for 17.1 increase in food prices in the Europe. Almost say Russia and Ukraine war no. Ama aduane bo na akosro no. No akosro by 70%. If you want to know the impact of Russia-Ukraine war, edi abama aduane bo akosro wiase a ni nyina impact ni 17.1%. 17.1%. Bagana ha food inflation a we twam over 30 something percent. Yantoaso. In Germany, for instance, supermarkets have seen food price rise by 20%, with the price of loaf which sold at 8 euros now 10 euros. In the UK, for instance, Asda supermarket says customers tell cashiers to stop scanning items when the tally rate £30. As shoppers are cutting down on shopping, it's because of the higher food prices. The so-called Germany supermarket on Indiana Buana Costro by 20%. Our Germany. Uko aduane te say no motono adiana ko motono 8 euro no and no motono 10 euro. Na say 2 euro and ababeka ho 20%. Afesu so wo hwe baby te say UK. As the supermarket almost say nkrofo ba omoto aduane na scanner ni sika nya do £30 for say minto biom na sese no anu no because enuane ho akwatwe ne bo ayeden. With all this no percentage na omo ka ho asem no a we are talking about 20% food price. They see akosro awosa amaye kasai issue ba akoso a Russia Ukraine wakofa bre ye wiase nyina fertilizer, so increased fertilizer prices and shortage on the market because fertilizer combined Russia and Belarus have provided about 40% of the world export of potash. Russia alone exported 11% of world urea and 48% of ammonium nitrate. Russia and Ukraine together export about 28% of fertilizer made from nitrogen and phosphorus as well as potassium. Russia and Belarus omunkwano ban say fertilizer ne na export na potash 40%. Russia export about 11% urea edigu nuane so have 48% for about ammonia nitrate and so edigu no baye so manitimi so do so. After Ukraine and so export 28% of world fertilizer supply no almost so etimi supply and to hwe mu a this contribution contribute, so we are talking about a year fertilizer urea ammonia 40% 48% 28% 11% and more after you fuel price rise in fuel prices. Say it is Ghana anytime you complaining about fuel price be an chess ko Europe also a bonus 80 was you said also petrol bo etimi cost because of Russia Ukraine war no. The impact of Russia Ukraine invasion on fuel prices in Europe cannot be undermined. All pump stations across Europe have seen at least 3 hikes in price in the past 3 months, and this is due to the ban on the Russian oil import by the European Union. Oko we say Europe one more. If we say Russia Ukraine war na buy no, or say ya to fangu buomo 3 times. Shadi 3 times from February ebesi na entokwana koso no 3 times and yatum. We are maybe say on Ghana for can we count the number of times this 3 months yatum because Ghana say no every month be an 2 full 2 times. First window, first 2 weeks, second window, last 2 weeks near their tomb. And so far 3 months and 3 times 6. Remember I was saying 2 times 6, 2 times 3. Remember I was saying 6. Until from February, everybody see that for 3 months now, you 2 fangumu 6 times. But Russia, Ukraine, wo musu nyina face kono ba no, ya to petrol boni na mana kosro 3 times. We are not statistically, Russia produces about 11,262,746 million barrels of oil per day, making the Kremlin the third largest oil producer in the world, eighth in terms of its oil reserves, accounting for 4.8% of the world market. Russia for oil omutun every day no is about 11.2 million barrels. Ankran kwa 11.2 million barrels ano mutimi etu. Efa ewiase nyina ame ahodo a omutu fango pa no a edoso Russia the third largest producer. Omoso etimi produce ewo ho. Na ka no man a omoso de fango asie reserves a Russia toso nwotwe reserves or my reserve in Kwano, or 5 world fuel reserve, Russia and Kwan reserve about 4.8% a year world oil. That's the statistics. Now, share idea rise in refugees across neighboring Baltic region and Europe. According to the United Nations, as of 16 June, 12 million people have fled their homes and more than 5.2 million individuals have left for neighboring countries. More than 3.5 million have applied for temporary residence in another country. If we say United Nations for say oman for 12 million and omedwane free sa oman kasa fie ye Russia Ukraine omedwane free omu fie. Sa 12 million emu 5.2 million eya dia omonama hudu atwa Russia Ukraine hu ahia no anoma kohyehye mu 3.5 million so apply so more temporary residence so metimi atena honom. This is according to United Nations. Afi, the UN says there are more than 780,000 Ukrainians in Germany, almost 380,000 in the Czech Republic, and 170,000 in Italy, worsening the global refugees crisis. United Nations say, "Oko Ukraine for Adwania Kwasha Germany, omdodo 780,000. Ukraine for Adwania Kwasha Czech Republic, omo 380,000. And Ukraine for Adwania Kwasha Italy, and so 137,000. And Tiama said you are too cotton for no, or Madoson over Europe. Now, young Shadi, increase inflation in European countries. Said the Russia-Ukraine war no ama inflation. I got na no. The real inflation is me across from Mahapa. Was inflation in the Eurozone has hit a new record high this month at 7.5%, while growth slowed during the first quarter of the year. According to the official data, in the UK, for instance, inflation hit all-time high of 9.1% in 40 years. Fresh food inflation alone went up by 4.5%. And to UK, inflation UK for the first time in 40 years, a fair normal inflation could do 9.1%, single digit. In 40 years, I feel that we are hitting 9.1%. And no, UK 40 years ago. But so far, fresh food, and inflation now cost by 4.5%. In Germany, for instance, price increased by 7.9% the month of May. Oko Germany, inflation cost by 7.9% in May 12. As we speak, these two countries, UK, Germany, that's a single digit inflation upon all the problems we go through because of Russia-Ukraine war. Now, measures to mitigate the challenges. Or how now, in the base of overcoming the challenges from this war and its economic impact, countries in Europe are adopting measures to overcome the effect of the war. Countries in Europe, no, we have come over so and because some direct high fuel price, say the petrol cost. With respect to the hikes in energy prices, European governments are looking for alternative sources of energy to reduce their dependence on Russia energy, which Russia has now weaponized. As I say, Russia for they say Mufangona Yakode, and I would do my Jumantino, my mountain. Some my whole Europe no mu depending Germany, UK no mu nyina no be he kwan foforo be fa so anya nyina manwoden and answer fango de aboa nkrofo. In Europe, a total energy investment of 2.4 trillion is said to be invested in the sector this year, including record spending on renewal. Europe omo we say omo di sika some 2.4 trillion US dollars and omo be investment ho se betimi aboa na eniama hodo mafa so nya nyina ma hoden e de asom ho na etumi akoso afiwe nko 2022 yi. Now, countries like UK, Germany and Italy are investing into nuclear power and wind energy, whilst also drilling for more oil and gas in a bid to reduce import and bring down eye-watering prices on the European market. Oko ma bi say UK, Germany ni Italy almost so almost every nuclear. Nuclear. It's idea ka say bomb no nkron bay nuclear say wi musaka omo ye e de anya nyina ma hoden e de aboy de atomic energy reactor na say de chei intimi hu afi so omo guso omo search so benya oil and gas ni bibiri omo mamu no matimi atu. The UK, for instance, in its energy security strategy on Wednesday said the government has set out a plan to generate 95% of Britain's electricity from low carbon source by 2030. And Britain was a target set by 2030 no omo per a year electricity from yellow carbon. Omo betimi self-sufficient, omo betimi de omo na so until 2022. And in the next 8 years no, this is what a year UK 4% betimi achieve. He said a prices encostro. Germany, in its critical moment of energy crisis, is considering rationing natural gas to ensure available natural gas in storage is not depleted soon as winter proceeds. Unse approaches winter ne basia omu hia gas pa because awo be bankrofo be so heater omu fi omu so soja enti omu yeso omu de gas ni bi sie se be du so a ene ebu ha kakrama mu nya bi wa ha no kire da koma bi wa ha se be omu betimi atomo. That's what Germany is doing. Now ye hwe kwan a this aman so inflation enuane bo ahwira kosoro ne niama bo ahwira kosoro ye saman mu no. On the subject of increased inflation across European countries, countries like UK and Germany have put in place measures to counter the soaring prices of goods and services. In Germany, the government has offered cheap monthly tickets for regional public transport between June and August and a discount for drivers at gas stations. The German for ayeti to say, omo the ticket ama ayetimamu for $9, €9 no, what the befa car a public transport from June akwakosi August, so June, July, August, 3 months no, what the a year €9 about for public transport what the betchini Germany be anytime be a person ko to me. It means on average in every month we are spending just €3 on air public transport. Can you imagine saying ke Ghana ha na petrol buy they will spend just 3 Ghana cedis. 3 Ghana cedis we betima from Metro Mass, we betima from STC, we betima from KTK, we betima from Kabia, bia ya abanda ya lulu e de akoba bibia okobia 1 month ne 3 Ghana cedis. Ka Ghana from kebebo se papa. What they are not in chances so inflation. The discount would mean a decrease. Now, another one was see transport air drivers in June. Say I get discount for drivers at gas station. Abana sat omo discount and it's all kwakoto gas omo petrol ni diesel omo friend gas o kwakoto a e ade abana teso e the amount. This is what UK is doing. On discount would mean or see the discount would mean a decrease in the cost of petrol by 29.25% per liter and a diesel by 14.4% a liter. This would mean a gap around $3 billion in taxes to the public coffers. No man say okoto petrol a liter biano abana teso by 29.55%. Diesel liter biano abana teso by 14.04%. Our nim says anti so no sika de beba nko a na sa abana fa kan is about $3.2 billion. In the UK, for instance, the Chancellor announced £37 billion in support for households during this period of economic crisis. This includes £400 off energy bills for households, additional £300 payment for pensioners, £150 payment for people receiving disability payment. The UK buying A and say, Oko UK says abana isika some £37 billion sterling. That abane a or see because of economic crisis in Intino. Or more energy okoto enyinamonkania ne sanya manua abane supported with £400. Afi £300 no ebeko e dia ma pensioners omo mkwa ahomegiem £300 and confirm mo afi £150 no fama omo a se biye nuan mo madi them people with the persons with disability. This is what the UK government is doing in this time of Russia-Ukraine war. Now you have fertilizer no so a enho akwa atwe nti we are seeing now is when these countries effort so etimi asa no fertilizer. And resolving the fertilizer shortage and its price hike, countries in Europe are investing millions of euros in mega fertilizer plants to produce more of the potassium, phosphorus, and nitrogen for aid farmers to reduce its dependence on Russia. The Amanyosem Europe we say almost see fertilizer plant. Produce said the beya form konkoto Russia so ebium. Countries like UK and Italy is encouraging their farmers to go more into organic farming as government rolls out plans to expand inorganic fertilizer production sector. Maybe to say Europe, Europe to say UK, any Italy, abana catch so omunfa a natural way. Abe for kwaso said the whole society say na be organic way na mu de gu nuane na se na te say nyini prom no. Omenso metimi de adwuma. Germany in an attempt to counteract this, the Bundestag has laid a groundwork for 180 million euro aid package for fertilizer production in the country. The German buying is 180 million euro. Say omo dey produce fertilizer e wo mo say the be akuafo betimanya fertilizer etimi edijuma. Afie hwe dia ba ne ye dia bo akuaye oko these countries are. Most European countries are ramping up their agricultural sector by instituting policies that will increase food production and reduce their overly dependence on the other nation for most of their nutritional needs. By the end of September 2022, farmers and other agricultural businesses in Germany will each be able to claim 15,000 euros in state aid. The amano ayan say ya kase omu di djuma de sa European country omu yes obia di djuma de agwa kwama hwe so be page amakuayem atimi akosoro oma bi ti say Germany the abani ye say enkosi say afiwe be ko na wie no akuafo a omu wa Germany no obia aban e mani sika esum 15,000 euros so on fan support eye ne kuayo eye sika aban e de ma omo. On third of the money will be, or say 1/3 of the money will be provided by the EU. The rest by the federal government. European Union is also increasing its common agriculture policy for member states, increase this time for the crisis. European Union, the same about Africa, because African Union, no, the European Union say member states no almost support to riska. Say the be o medibe so akuafo no asene policy o matu di say agricultural policy. Agricultural policy a cap. Omo de support omo de omo ede abuanie. Now yenhwe ade bi Ukraine thinking outside the box approach. Ukraine na kono affect omo pa because Russia bombs omato akọ Ukraine nye ketwa. Said the report in by no about 12 million of a year Ukrainian and as so madwane free oman mo do metia pe baby ede afa. Ne yenhwe kwan a ekwan mu nyina no how Ukraine for manage still making money. First cargo ship leaves Ukraine's occupied port of Berdyansk official. June 30, where it was reported by Reuters. Russia, as of June 30, no, now Ukraine for a year ship wa esun enuane about 7,000 tons of grains at the neighboring countries. So in the midst of war, Ukraine is still exporting food to other countries for a year foreign earning. Now, Otwaswa, another one, Ukraine launches electricity export to European Union. President Vladimir Zelensky announced yesterday, that's July 1, that Ukraine has begun exporting electricity to the European Union using an interconnection with the Romania starting with 100 megawatts. And to call a year Ukraine or Moko Sesianoa. Omoman peni Vladimir Zelensky or exporting electricity at the core Amanyosem Europe mu our shall say with the 100 megawatts our exporting electricity or the Bejiska. Meanwhile Ghana ya bambe catch say we excess energy capacity. Excess energy capacity ni say ya ma companies be contract so omo no anyina monkanea na anyina monkanea na omo no ano so omo no omo no yetua ho ka. The excess ni nya ma na broso. We are paying them huge sum of money. You bet me I exported this electricity excess, no, the so-called excess, no. And they are called the neighboring countries like Togo, like Benin, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, money electricity, no. But Ukraine na corner sia, and they depend on Ukraine, no. Ukraine ni moma export to electricity and they call the neighboring countries for foreign earning. What they are not to China. Yanshe adebi awaha. Tunisia, over Africa. Tunisia for so yeka so muso mu ko IMF ko pay bill yibio bailout no. Tunisia for so ko bi na Tunisia for ye. Tunisia struggle to grow more wheat as Ukraine war bites. Where AFP report, since the Ukraine war sent global cereal prices soaring, import-dependent Tunisia has announced a push to grow all its own durum wheat, the basis for the local staples like couscous and pasta. The Tunisia buying air and say, there's some person no matter Ukraine and Russia so because enuane to mo abana shase oso akuafo asene se akuafo no ebetumi anya mwa na omo ankasa timedua enuane a omo edi ewo honom wo ba ye memu a this honorable Dr. Friyakutu ona ya Greek minister na no Ghana akuafo ka chelm say because of say enyama nko yenti ka ban ne mo besia na omo ntimi mfa nso omo asene ntimi mfa no enuane because enuane ho ayede enuane bo akosoro. This is what the minister told Ghana Kuyafo in the midst of Russia-Ukraine war when other countries are thinking outside the box. Was say a Greek minister on why farmers can't be founded. Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Owusu Friyakutu, has stated it will not be a realistic plan for government to provide loans to farmers. According to him, government is not a financial institution, but only serve as an agent to promote development. Source, weareadomonline.com. This was published on June 23, 2020 at 11:03 a.m. and upon published here. A Greek minister said, "Sebi Ghana buy nye bank and wama ekuafo besia. Enti bre ekuafo ne pesika sa ban be so mas. This is what about to but uko Europe and yet here complaining because of Russia-Ukraine war. No, the government is giving money to farmers because a government in himself ekuafo no producer. Definitely the government will benefit. The government subsidize fuel. Government the discount ticket, public transport ticket at the microphone. But our Greek minister, our president describing and say, well, one of the most experienced when it comes to agriculture, is Ghana is telling Ghanaian farmers say Ghana government is not a bank. Meanwhile, 2020, we were able to give money. COVID-19 and a blaming say anything a IMF no. We were able to give money to these farmers, to small scale businesses and owners. We gave money to the extent say who say some of them cry campaign. But after the election, no, Sebio and Yaman Koye for access for one. The minister is telling them say Ghana government is not a financial institution. So my simple question maybe say, why are we crying more than Russia-Ukraine war? Yes, Russia-Ukraine war the impact and how effective we are and for but we share this research from the United Nations. You can also do your search. It shows that all these countries are, even Germany, are cutting direct gas supply. No, they are not giving up. All this, no, those governments are giving subsidies to among crop for. Government need ma and crofosika to support them. Government is giving money to support agriculture. The government are putting place in policies to manufacture their own fertilizer, to grow more of their food, to grow more and also to invest in energy. Or more betimi self-reliance. Their costs were Europe no. But wo baha yensu ye na yeye. Nyame be chere Republic. They say we are going to IMF for bailout. Russia, Ukraine now affecting what I said in Amanyosem. Ukraine is exporting food and electricity for money. Ghana, yet West Africa, we are going for bailout. But the Ukraine now cinema and a month for about 12 million. Ukraine is not seeking IMF bailout, but rather Ukraine is exporting food and electricity for income. Ghana, you call IMF 2015, Ukraine call IMF bailout 2015. Based on the same program now, IMF the Ukraine. Ukraine for even in the midst of their war cost one. Ukraine is self-reliant, self-ultimate supply and to the sense of supply nnuane kura kwa ama no sika. But Ghana, your program now was end 2018, you extended an additional 1 year. And instead of 2018, you ending in 2019. So from 2019 now you free IMF program no 2020, 2021, 1.5 years, we are going back to IMF for a year financial bailout. And the reason we are giving to ourselves by the government is giving to the Ghanaian and say it's as a result of Russia-Ukraine war and COVID-19 and who's thereby. But these countries are corner see one more or more now they are putting in place measures to bring back the economy. None of these governments in Europe, president or prime ministers, and they make a public pronouncement, said they know how to bring back the economy even after COVID-19. But we have a president, Nana Akufo-Addo, who said he knows how to bring back the economy because he has the men and women. But men and women in United, we are going for IMF bailout. The Ukraine now who are seeing or no export for money. That's the difference between democracy and we are suffering. Yes, I hear from me. Anyway. Now, uni maybe my for when chat one of impenium for basing kunya. And no IMF, no World Bank country director. Here, report was say since last year, July, ABC Afwe, June, World Bank, Amagana Sika, 9 or more approve Sika, is come approve Magana buying a $903 million. And now I'm a tea and who dream can say, really? Just 1 year. And according to the World Bank country director, I would say this is the biggest in the history of say one country. Ya approve Sikadiaman within a year, $903 million. Me pacho yentie no na yetieni ba be kwa koton ade, ye koton ade ba empenyufo besi nkonya. Yentie World Bank director e wo man Ghana mo.
Your Excellency, before I conclude, I would just like to take this opportunity to quickly recap the performance of our program in Ghana over the last fiscal year that just ended last week on June 30th. This year, between July 1st and July 1st, 2021 and June 30th, 2022, the World Bank approved a total of $903 million for Ghana. Never in the history of Ghana has any development institution approved such a large amount of money in one single year.
Enti enono we a World Bank country director or see never in the history of Ghana say within a year World Bank ama esika $903 million. But the question is say in the midst of these complaints our government in way there's no money, teachers are on strike, there's no money, statutory payments are in arrears, there's no money. Government it mean the project because there's no money. Have you ever heard from the government says since last year July the World Bank has given us $903 million? To me, it was a new thing to me. I don't know how you also take it. Me did this amount of which I'm who tell me ba and penny for her a basin kunya bobo in some traces.